In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, few names evoke as much fear, disgust, and morbid fascination as Fabius Bile. Known by many epithets, the primogenitor, the clone lord, the man-flayer, this renegade Astartes stands as a testament to the twisted extremes of human ambition and scientific pursuit unfettered by morality or restraint. Fabius Bile's legacy is one of horror and genius intertwined. A former apothecary of the Emperor's Children Legion, he has spent millennia pushing the boundaries of genetic manipulation and bioengineering. His experiments, as grotesque as they are groundbreaking, have earned him the ire of both the Imperium of Man and his fellow Chaos Space Marines. At his core, Fabius Bile is driven by an insatiable curiosity and a genuine desire to elevate humanity to its ultimate potential. However, his methods are nothing short of monstrous. Abductions, live vivisections, and torturous experiments are but a few of the atrocities he commits in the name of progress. His laboratories are nightmarish realms where the screams of test subjects mingle with the hum of arcane machinery. Perhaps Fabius Bile's most infamous creation is the Numen, genetically enhanced humans designed to be the next step in evolution. These beings, crafted through countless iterations and failures, represent Bile's vision for the future of the species. Yet, like their creator, they are viewed with a mixture of awe and revulsion by those who encounter them. Bile's influence extends far beyond his personal experiments. Many Chaos Space Marine warbands seek his services, offering vast resources in exchange for genetic enhancements or monstrous creations to bolster their ranks. Even some desperate Imperial factions have been known to deal with the Clone Lord despite the severe consequences of such heresy. The primogenitor's ultimate goal remains shrouded in mystery. Some believe he seeks to create a new race to inherit the galaxy, while others speculate that he aims to ascend to godhood through his mastery of flesh and gene. Whatever the truth, Fabius Bile continues his work with relentless determination, leaving a trail of abominations and breakthroughs in his wake. As a character, Fabius Bile embodies the complex morality of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. He is neither a cackling villain nor a misunderstood hero, but a brilliant mind whose pursuit of knowledge has led him down a path of unspeakable cruelty. His actions raise profound questions about the nature of progress, the limits of science, and the price of ambition in a universe where such concepts are often paid for in blood. Fabius Bile's journey into infamy began on the toxic world of Chemos, homeworld of the Emperor's Children Legion. Born into a society that valued perfection above all else, young Fabius excelled in the sciences, particularly in the fields of genetics and biology. His intellect and ambition caught the eye of the Legion's recruiters, leading to his induction into the ranks of the Astartes. As an apothecary of the Emperor's Children, Fabius quickly distinguished himself through his innovative approaches to gene seed cultivation and enhancement. His early experiments, while pushing ethical boundaries, were aimed at improving the already superhuman abilities of his battle brothers. However, the seeds of obsession had already taken root in his brilliant mind. The turning point came during the Great Crusade, when the Emperor's Children encountered the Xenos race known as the Liar. These serpentine aliens had achieved a level of biological mastery that fascinated Fabius. In the aftermath of the Layer's destruction, he secretly harvested samples of their technology and genetic material, laying the groundwork for his future transgressions. The Horus Heresy marked a dramatic shift in Fabius's work. As the Emperor's Children fell to chaos, embracing the hedonistic worship of Slanesh, Fabius saw an opportunity to pursue his research without restraint. He delved deep into forbidden knowledge, combining warp sorcery with his scientific expertise to create abominations that blurred the line between flesh and demonic essence. In the wake of the heresy, as the traitor legions fled to the Eye of Terror, Fabius's reputation grew. His ability to manipulate gene seed and create enhanced warriors made him invaluable to the fragmented chaos forces. Yet, he remained an outsider, his personal quest for knowledge often at odds with the goals of his fellow traitors. Over the millennia, Fabius has conducted countless experiments, each more audacious than the last. His attempts to clone the Primarchs, the legendary gene sons of the Emperor, have become the stuff of dark legend. While most of these efforts ended in failure, the mere attempt speaks to Fabius's unparalleled ambition and skill. Perhaps his most notorious act was the creation of the Gland Hounds, vat-grown monstrosities designed to hunt and harvest specific organs from their victims. These creatures, along with his new men, represent the pinnacle of Fabius's twisted vision for human evolution. Fabius's longevity is a testament to his scientific prowess. Through a combination of cloning technology and warp-infused techniques, he has cheated death countless times. Each iteration of Fabius carries the memories and knowledge of its predecessors, ensuring that his vast experience is never lost. The primogenitor's influence extends far beyond his personal experiments. Many Chaos Space Marine war bands seek his services, offering vast resources in exchange for genetic enhancements or monstrous creations. Even some desperate Imperial factions have been known to deal with the Clone Lord, despite the severe consequences of such heresy. Throughout his long existence, Fabius has faced numerous setbacks and challenges. The destruction of his laboratories, the betrayal of his creations, and the constant pursuit by both Imperial and Chaos forces have all threatened to end his work. Yet, each time, Fabius has emerged phoenix-like to continue his grand experiment. In recent years, Fabius has become increasingly focused on his New Men project. These enhanced humans, designed to survive in even the harshest environments, represent what he believes to be the future of the species. Despite the hostility they face from virtually all quarters, Fabius continues to refine and improve upon their design with unwavering determination. As the 41st millennium draws to a close, Fabius Bile stands at a crossroads. His work has pushed the boundaries of science and sorcery further than any before him, yet the ultimate goal of his millennia-long quest remains elusive. The Clone Lord continues to strive towards his vision of perfection, leaving a trail of horrors and marvels in his wake, forever changing the face of the galaxy in his relentless pursuit of knowledge. Fabius Bile's physical appearance belies his true nature. Standing tall even among Astartes, his form is a patchwork of augmentations and self-experimentation. His skin, pale and waxy, stretches taut over a frame enhanced by both science and sorcery. Bile's eyes, once a piercing blue, now glow with an unnatural inner light, reflecting the warp energies he has harnessed in his pursuit of knowledge. The primogenitor's most distinctive feature is the chirurgeon, a complex, multi-limbed apparatus fused to his spine. This biomechanical marvel serves as both a mobile laboratory and a life support system. Its mechadendrites, tipped with an array of surgical tools and syringes, allow Bile to perform intricate procedures on the go, often using himself as a test subject. Bile's armor, a modified version of the power armor worn by Chaos Space Marines, incorporates various blasphemous technologies. Vials of unknown substances and preserved specimens adorn its surface, ready for use in his twisted experiments. The armor systems constantly monitor Bile's physiology, automatically administering drugs and stimulants to keep him at peak efficiency. In combat, Fabius wields the Rod of Torment, a staff that serves as both a weapon and a tool for his craft. Imbued with dark energies, it can inflict excruciating pain or extract genetic material from victims with equal efficiency. The Rod's power is a testament to Bile's mastery over both technology and the arcane arts of the warp. Bile's intellect remains his most formidable weapon. His mind, honed over millennia of study and experimentation, operates on a level beyond that of even the most gifted scientists in the Imperium. He possesses an encyclopedic knowledge of genetics, xenobiology, and warpcraft, allowing him to conceive and execute experiments that blur the lines between science and sorcery. The primogenitor's longevity is perhaps his most remarkable feature. Through a combination of cloning technology and warp-infused techniques, Bile has cheated death countless times. Each iteration of Fabius carries the memories and knowledge of its predecessors, ensuring that his vast experience is never lost. This pseudo-immortality has granted him a unique perspective on the galaxy's history and the evolution of both humanity and its enemies. Bile's creations are as diverse as they are horrifying. From the New Men, his vision of humanity's future, to the monstrous glandhounds used for organ harvesting, each bears the unmistakable mark of their creator. These beings, often combining traits from multiple species or incorporating warp-touched elements, showcase Bile's unparalleled skill in genetic manipulation. The Consortium, a loose alliance of Bile's most successful creations, serves as both his inner circle and a testing ground for his theories on societal evolution. These enhanced beings, each specialized for different roles, represent the culmination of Bile's work on improving the human form. Their existence is a constant source of data for the primogenitor's ongoing experiments. Bile's approach to the Chaos Gods sets him apart from other heretic Astartes. While he acknowledges their power, he refuses to worship them, viewing them as nothing more than another resource to be studied and exploited. This pragmatic atheism has earned him enemies among the devotees of chaos, but it also grants him a unique freedom to pursue his own agenda. The primogenitor's mastery of cloning technology is unrivaled in the galaxy. His attempts to replicate the Primarchs, while largely unsuccessful, have yielded valuable insights into the Emperor's work. Bile's cloning facilities, hidden across various worlds and space hulks, produce a steady stream of enhanced warriors and monstrous creatures for his own use or to trade with other factions. Bile's philosophical outlook is as complex as his experiments. He views himself not as a villain, but as the ultimate savior of humanity. In his mind, the pain and suffering he inflicts are necessary steps towards creating a species capable of surviving the horrors of the galaxy. This twisted altruism drives him to commit atrocities that would give even the most hardened chaos worshippers pause. The primogenitor's influence extends far beyond his personal experiments. Many Chaos Space Marine warbands seek his services, offering vast resources in exchange for genetic enhancements or monstrous creations. Even some desperate Imperial factions have been known to deal with the Clone Lord, despite the severe consequences of such heresy. Bile's reputation as a deal-maker and broker of forbidden knowledge makes him a central figure in the complex web of alliances and betrayals that characterize the forces of chaos. His ability to provide unique assets, be they enhanced warriors, Xenos weaponry, or arcane lore, ensures that he always has a place at the table, even among those who despise him. The legacy of Fabius Bile is one of innovation and horror in equal measure. His work has pushed the boundaries of what is possible in genetic manipulation and bioengineering, often at a terrible cost in human suffering. Yet, in the grim darkness of the far future where humanity faces extinction on all fronts, the fruits of his labor may yet prove to be the key to survival, a fact that the primogenitor is all too eager to remind his detractors of. Fabius Bile occupies a unique position in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, straddling the line between chaos and independence. Unlike most heretic Astartes, who pledge allegiance to a specific chaos god or to chaos undivided, Bile maintains a pragmatic atheism that sets him apart from his fellow traders. This independence allows Bile to operate across faction lines, making him a valuable, if untrustworthy, asset to various groups within the galaxy. Chaos warbands seek his expertise to enhance their warriors or create monstrous shock troops. Renegade planetary governors might request his aid in building armies to defend their realms. Even some within the Imperium, driven to desperation, have been known to seek out the primogenitor's services, risking severe retribution for the chance to benefit from his unparalleled knowledge. Within the Emperor's Children, Bile's former legion, his status is complex. While many view him with disdain for his refusal to fully embrace Slaanesh, others recognize the value of his work. The Legion's Noise Marines, in particular, often seek out Bile for further enhancements to their already altered physiologies. Bile's relationship with the Dark Mechanicum is one of both cooperation and competition. While he often trades knowledge and resources with these tech heretics, there's an underlying rivalry as both parties strive to push the boundaries of science and sorcery. Some magos view Bile as a valuable source of biological insights that complement their mechanical expertise, while others see him as a threat to their monopoly on advanced technology. The primogenitor's influence extends to the realm of Xenos as well. His insatiable curiosity drives him to study and experiment on alien species, incorporating useful traits into his creations. This has led to several uneasy alliances with Xenos factions, further cementing Bile's reputation as an unpredictable wildcard in galactic affairs. In the grand narrative of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, Fabius Bile serves as a dark reflection of the Emperor's own work in creating the Primarchs and Space Marines. His experiments, while horrific, raise uncomfortable questions about the nature of humanity's future in a hostile galaxy. Is Bile's vision of a post-human species truly so different from the Emperor's goal of shepherding mankind's evolution? This moral ambiguity makes Bile a fascinating figure in the lore. He's neither a cackling villain nor a misunderstood hero, but a brilliant mind whose pursuit of knowledge has led him down a path of unspeakable cruelty. His actions force both characters within the setting and readers to confront difficult questions about progress, ethics, and the lengths one might go to ensure survival. Bile's New Men project represents a potential future for humanity that exists outside the stagnant Imperium or the corrupting influence of chaos. While his methods are abhorrent, the end result, a species adapted to survive the horrors of the 41st millennium, presents an intriguing alternative to the grim fate that seems to await mankind. The primogenitor's longevity and his habit of cloning himself add another layer to his place in the universe. Having lived through the rise and fall of countless empires, Bile possesses a unique perspective on the cyclical nature of galactic history. This vast experience informs his experiments and his philosophy, driving him to seek solutions that extend beyond the immediate conflicts that consume other factions. In the complex political landscape of the 41st millennium, Bile serves as a wild card that can upset the balance of power. His ability to provide game-changing biological weapons or enhancements makes him a sought-after ally, despite the risks associated with dealing with such a capricious figure. This ensures that even when not directly involved in major events, the shadow of his influence looms large. Bile's existence poses a constant threat to the Imperium of man. Not only does he possess intimate knowledge of space marine genetics that could be used to devastating effect, but his very philosophy challenges the core tenets of imperial doctrine. The idea that humanity could evolve beyond the Emperor's vision is considered the highest heresy, making Bile a priority target for imperial forces. To the Inquisition, Fabius Bile represents one of the most dangerous individuals in the galaxy. His combination of technological prowess, biological expertise, and warp knowledge makes him a threat on multiple fronts. Entire Ordo Xenos task forces have been devoted to tracking and eliminating Bile and his creations, yet he always manages to slip away, leaving devastation in his wake. Among the Adeptus Mechanicus, Bile is viewed with a mixture of horror and fascination. His work on combining biological and mechanical elements challenges their understanding of the machine god's will. Some tech priests secretly study his methods, seeking to incorporate his innovations into their own quest for knowledge. In the grand tapestry of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, Fabius Bile stands as a testament to the potential and perils of unfettered scientific advancement. His presence serves as a constant reminder that in the grim darkness of the far future, the line between savior and monster is often blurred beyond recognition. As the galaxy hurtles towards an uncertain future, the primogenitor continues his great work, leaving an indelible mark on the fate of humanity and the very fabric of the universe itself. Fabius Bile's interactions with the myriad factions of the Warhammer 40,000 universe are as complex as they are numerous. His unique position as a freelance genesmith and mad scientist allows him to cross paths with a diverse array of groups, each encounter leaving an indelible mark on the galaxy's tapestry. Among the traitor legions, Bile's reputation precedes him. The Night Lords, ever eager to instill fear in their enemies, sometimes seek out the primogenitor to create especially horrific mutations for their ranks. These twisted creations serve as living weapons, their mere presence enough to break the morale of Imperial defenders. The Word-bearers, despite their fanatical devotion to chaos, occasionally turn to Bile for assistance. Their demon hosts, mortal vessels for warp entities, benefit from his expertise in creating bodies capable of withstanding demonic possession for extended periods. Even the fractious World Eaters find use for Bile's talents. While their cornate beliefs typically shun sorcery and genetic manipulation, some warbands secretly employ his services to enhance their berserkers' already formidable combat abilities. The Iron Warriors, with their penchant for siege warfare, have contracted Bile to develop biological weapons capable of breaking even the most stubborn planetary defenses. These virulent creations often leave conquered worlds uninhabitable, a fact that concerns the primogenitor little. Bile's relationship with the Thousand Sons is particularly intriguing. The Sorcerer Legion's understanding of the warp complements Bile's scientific approach, leading to collaborations that blur the line between science and sorcery. These joint ventures often yield results that neither party could achieve alone. Outside the traitor legions, Bile finds no shortage of clients among the various Chaos warbands and renegade factions. Aspiring Chaos Lords seek his aid in creating personal armies of enhanced warriors, while cult leaders request tailor-made mutations to better serve their dark patrons. The Dark Mechanicum stands as both ally and rival to the primogenitor. While they often exchange knowledge and resources, there's an underlying competition as both strive to push the boundaries of technology and biology. Some heretics view Bile as a valuable source of organic insights, while others see him as a threat to their dominion over advanced science. Bile's interactions with xenospecies add another layer to his complex web of relationships. His fascination with the Tyranids, for instance, has led him to capture and study various bioforms, incorporating their adaptive traits into his own creations. This research has made him a person of interest to Ordo Xenos Inquisitors, who grudgingly acknowledge his unparalleled understanding of the Tyranid threat. The Aeldari, with their own long history of genetic manipulation, view Bile with a mixture of disgust and wary respect. Some homunculi have sought to challenge the primogenitor's skills, leading to gruesome contests of flesh crafting that span decades. Even the Necrons, usually dismissive of lesser races, have taken note of Bile's work. Some cryptecs see parallels between his efforts to perfect the human form and their own biotransference process, leading to rare instances of technological exchange. Within the Imperium, Bile's name is spoken only in hushed whispers, yet his influence can be felt even here. Rogue traders, operating on the fringes of Imperial space, sometimes act as intermediaries, ferrying Bile's creations to clients who dare not deal with him directly. Certain radical inquisitors have been known to seek out Bile's expertise in combating Xenos threats or chaos incursions. These dangerous alliances are always temporary and often end in betrayal, but the knowledge gained is deemed worth the risk by those who walk the ragged edge of heresy. The Adeptus Mechanicus maintains a contradictory stance on the primogenitor. Officially, he is denounced as a heretic of the highest order. Unofficially, some tech priests study his methods, seeking to incorporate his biological insights into their own cybernetic enhancements. Bile's creations have found their way into the gladiatorial pits of Kamara, where their unique abilities provide novel entertainment for the jaded Dark Eldar. This has opened up new avenues of experimentation for the primogenitor, as he receives samples from across the galaxy in exchange for his flesh-crafted monstrosities. The Tau Empire, in its naivety, once attempted to negotiate with Bile, seeing his work as a potential avenue for advancing their greater good. This cultural exchange ended in disaster, with several Earth-caste scientists becoming unwilling test subjects for the primogenitor's experiments. Bile's interactions with the orcs are limited but noteworthy. While the greenskins' robust physiology and innate understanding of genetic manipulation in the form of their oddboys intrigue him, their chaotic nature makes prolonged study difficult. Nevertheless, Bile has incorporated certain orcoid traits into some of his more resilient creations. The primogenitor's relationship with the warp itself is perhaps his most complex interaction. Unlike many Chaos followers, he views the Immaterium as a tool rather than a source of worship. This pragmatic approach allows him to exploit warp energies in his experiments without falling prey to the madness that often accompanies prolonged exposure. Through these myriad interactions, Fabius Bile has positioned himself as a nexus of biological and technological exchange in the 41st millennium. His work influences and is influenced by virtually every major faction in the galaxy, creating a web of consequences that ripple out across the stars. As the lines between biology, technology, and sorcery continue to blur, the primogenitor stands at the forefront of a new and terrifying era of evolution. The internal structure surrounding Fabius Bile defies conventional hierarchies. At the apex stands the primogenitor himself, a singular entity whose clones ensure his continuous existence. This unique form of immortality blurs the line between individual and organization, as each iteration of Bile carries the collective memories and knowledge of its predecessors. Beneath Bile, the structure becomes more fluid and complex. The Consortium, a loose alliance of his most successful creations, forms the inner circle of his operation. These enhanced beings, each specialized for different roles, represent the culmination of Bile's work on improving the human form. The Consortium isn't a rigid hierarchy, but rather a meritocracy based on usefulness and ability to further Bile's research. Key members of the Consortium include the Homo sapiens novus, or new men. These genetically enhanced humans, designed to adapt to any environment, serve as both test subjects and field agents. They carry out missions across the galaxy, gathering data and resources for Bile's experiments. The most successful among them earn the right to provide genetic material for future generations, ensuring a constant evolution of the species. The Glandhounds, monstrous creations specialized in organ harvesting, occupy a unique position in Bile's hierarchy. These vat-grown abominations operate with a hive mind mentality, coordinated by a central intelligence that reports directly to Bile. They serve as both a tool for gathering biological samples and a deterrent against those who would threaten the primogenitor's work. Bile's former apprentices, those who've survived his tutelage, form another crucial layer in his organization. These individuals, sometimes referred to as the Children of Bile, have absorbed some of his knowledge and carry out independent research. They operate with a degree of autonomy, managing their own labs and experiments, but ultimately answer to their master. The relationship between Bile and his apprentices is often strained, marked by rivalry and the ever-present threat of betrayal. The Warpsmiths, renegade tech priests who've embraced Bile's fusion of science and sorcery, maintain the primogenitor's vast array of equipment. These skilled artisans blend mechanical expertise with an understanding of biomancy, creating the unique tools required for Bile's most ambitious projects. Their position is one of both privilege and danger, as they're privy to many of Bile's secrets, but also subject to his mercurial moods. Bile's mobile labs, often housed in captured spacecraft or hidden bases, form the physical infrastructure of his organization. Each lab is a self-contained unit capable of carrying out a wide range of experiments. The staff of these facilities, a mix of enhanced humans, servitors, and renegade scientists, operate under the supervision of trusted lieutenants from the Consortium. The Fleshmakers, a caste of surgeons and geneticists personally trained by Bile, play a crucial role in implementing his designs. These skilled practitioners are responsible for the day-to-day work of creating and modifying life forms according to the primogenitor's specifications. The most gifted among them may be elevated to the consortium, while those who fail often become subjects for future experiments. Bile's network of informants and agents spans the galaxy, operating under various guises. Some pose as rogue traders, others as mercenaries or even imperial citizens. This loose web of operatives gathers intelligence, procures rare materials, and occasionally carries out field tests of Bile's latest creations. The exact number and identities of these agents remain unknown, adding to the mystique and paranoia surrounding the primogenitor's reach. The lower echelons of Bile's organization consist of a diverse mix of renegades, outcasts, and willing test subjects. These individuals, drawn by promises of power, knowledge, or simply the chance to survive, form a constantly shifting pool of resources for the primogenitor's experiments. Their status is precarious, with successful subjects rising through the ranks while failures are discarded or repurposed. Bile's relationship with Chaos warbands and other factions adds another layer of complexity to his organization. While not directly part of his hierarchy, these groups often provide resources, protection, or test subjects in exchange for Bile's services. This creates a network of alliances and debts that the primogenitor skillfully manipulates to his advantage. The internal competition within Bile's organization serves as a driving force for progress. Different labs and research teams vie for resources and the primogenitor's attention, each striving to produce the most impressive results. This Darwinian approach to research ensures a constant flow of innovations, albeit at a terrible cost in lives and suffering. Bile's cloning facilities, perhaps the most crucial element of his infrastructure, operate under the tightest security. The exact location and number of these facilities remain unknown, with some speculating that Bile himself may be unaware of all his backup systems. These cloning centers ensure the primogenitor's continuity and serve as a failsafe against permanent death. The ever-evolving nature of Bile's work means that the structure around him is in constant flux. New creations rise to prominence while failed experiments are discarded. This dynamic environment, coupled with the primogenitor's own capricious nature, ensures that no two iterations of his organization are ever quite the same. It's this adaptability, mirroring the biological principles Bile so reveres, that has allowed his twisted enterprise to survive and thrive in the unforgiving landscape of the 41st millennium. Fabius Bile's mastery of both technology and sorcery places him at the forefront of biological innovation in the 41st millennium. His approach blends cutting-edge science with arcane knowledge, creating a unique fusion that defies easy categorization. The cornerstone of Bile's technological arsenal is his advanced cloning apparatus. These devices, far beyond anything possessed by the Imperium, allow for the rapid creation of genetically modified organisms. The cloning process incorporates warp energies, imbuing the creations with a spark of life that pure science alone cannot achieve. This technology enables Bile to produce everything from simple organ replacements to entire armies of enhanced warriors. Bile's gene splicing techniques represent a quantum leap beyond standard genetic engineering. By incorporating Xenos DNA and warp-touched alterations, he can create hybrids that exhibit traits from multiple species. These chimeric beings often possess abilities that defy natural law, such as regenerative powers or the ability to phase through solid matter. The chirurgeon, Bile's personal life support and laboratory system, stands as a testament to his technological prowess. This biomechanical marvel, fused directly to his nervous system, allows for on-the-fly genetic manipulation and surgical alterations. Its multiple appendages, each tipped with specialized tools, can perform intricate procedures with inhuman precision. Bile's mastery of nanotechnology adds another dimension to his work. Swarms of microscopic machines, programmed with complex genetic algorithms, can rewrite an organism's DNA in real time. These nanites, when combined with warp energies, create a form of technological sorcery, capable of transforming living beings on a fundamental level. The primogenitor's understanding of neural architecture allows him to create enhanced cognitive systems. By restructuring the brain and nervous system, Bile can produce beings with heightened intelligence, faster reflexes, or even psychic abilities. This technology blurs the line between organic computing and artificial intelligence. Bile's work with biological weapons represents some of his most terrifying innovations. Viruses that can rewrite a victim's genetic code, turning them into monstrous abominations, or plagues that target specific gene sequences are just a few examples of the horrors he has unleashed upon the galaxy. The fusion of organic and mechanical components is a recurring theme in Bile's creations. His cyborg constructs often incorporate living tissue grown around a framework of advanced alloys and circuitry. These hybrids benefit from both biological adaptability and mechanical durability, creating formidable warriors and research assistants. Bile's laboratories house a dizzying array of esoteric devices. Stasis chambers preserve rare specimens, while reality warping engines create localized fields for experimenting with alternate physical laws. Psychic amplifiers allow for the manipulation of warp energies with unprecedented precision, enabling the infusion of chaotic power into biological forms. The primogenitor's work with memory engram technology allows him to transfer knowledge and experiences between individuals. This process, a crude form of consciousness transfer, enables Bile to preserve valuable data even when experiments result in the subject's death. It also forms the basis of his own method of immortality, ensuring each new clone retains the memories of its predecessors. Bile's understanding of warp mechanics goes beyond mere sorcery. He has developed techniques to manipulate the very fabric of reality, creating localized warps in space-time. These reality bubbles allow for accelerated growth and evolution, compressing millennia of development into mere days or hours. The creation of tailored atmospheres and environments is another area where Bile excels. His environmental suits and habitat domes can sustain life in the most hostile conditions, from the vacuum of space to the corrosive atmospheres of death worlds. This technology is crucial for the adaptation and testing of his new men. Bile's work with pheromones and biochemical manipulation allows for subtle control over behavior and emotions. These compounds, when combined with psychic resonators, can influence entire populations, making them a potent tool for both experimentation and conquest. The primogenitor's experiments with warp-infused metallurgy have yielded materials with impossible properties. Self-repairing alloys, metals that can alter their molecular structure on command, and compounds that exist simultaneously in real space, and the warp are just a few examples of these miraculous substances. Bile's forays into chronomancy, while still experimental, hint at the possibility of manipulating time itself. While true time travel remains elusive, he has achieved limited success in accelerating or slowing temporal flow within confined areas, opening up new avenues for rapid evolution and extended observation. The synthesis of new artificial life forms represents the pinnacle of Bile's ambitions. By combining genetic material from various sources with warp energies and advanced technology, he strives to create beings that transcend the limitations of naturally evolved life. These entities, should they prove stable, could represent a new paradigm of existence in the galaxy. Bile's technological and sorcerous achievements, while individually impressive, find their true potential in combination. It is this synergy of science and magic, of the material and the immaterial, that sets the primogenitor apart from other innovators in the 41st millennium. His work represents a terrifying glimpse of what humanity might become, unfettered by morality or the constraints of nature, a future where the boundaries between flesh, machine, and warp are no longer recognizable. The culture surrounding Fabius Bile is as complex and contradictory as the primogenitor himself. At its core lies a ruthless meritocracy, where value is measured solely by one's contribution to the advancement of Bile's grand vision. This creates an environment of constant competition and innovation, but also of extreme paranoia and backstabbing. Bile's followers embrace a philosophy of extreme transhumanism. They view the human form not as sacred, but as a flawed template to be improved upon. This belief manifests in a culture of constant self-modification. Followers willingly subject themselves to experimental procedures, seeing each mutation or enhancement as a step towards perfection. The pursuit of knowledge reigns supreme in Bile's domain. His acolytes are encouraged to push the boundaries of science and sorcery, with no regard for ethical constraints. This unfettered approach to research fosters incredible breakthroughs, but also results in horrific atrocities. The screams of test subjects are seen as a necessary soundtrack to progress. A unique form of ancestor worship has evolved among Bile's inner circle. As the primogenitor's clones retain the memories of their predecessors, each iteration is viewed as both the same individual and a new entity. This paradox has given rise to complex rituals surrounding the death and rebirth of Bile, with followers seeking to curry favor with both the current and future versions of their master. The concept of identity is fluid within Bile's culture. With cloning and memory transfer technologies readily available, death is viewed as a temporary inconvenience rather than a final end. This has led to a cavalier attitude towards personal risk, with followers often volunteering for dangerous experiments, knowing that their essence can potentially be preserved and transferred to a new body. Art in Bile's realm takes on grotesque forms. Sculptures crafted from living flesh, paintings that shift and mutate as the viewer watches, and symphonies composed of the screams of test subjects are all considered high culture. These works often serve a dual purpose, acting as both aesthetic pieces and experiments in biological or psychic manipulation. Language among Bile's followers has evolved to incorporate complex scientific and sorcerous terminology. Casual conversation is peppered with references to genetic sequences, warp harmonics, and multidimensional algorithms. This specialized dialect serves as both a mark of status and a practical tool for discussing the intricacies of their work. A strict hierarchy exists within Bile's organization, but it is one based on intellectual and creative output rather than traditional military or political structures. Those who produce the most innovative or useful results rise quickly, while those who fail often find themselves on the vivisection table. This creates a culture of constant striving and cutthroat competition. The concept of family has been redefined in Bile's domain. With natural reproduction largely replaced by cloning and genetic engineering, traditional familial bonds have given way to lineages based on shared genetic modifications or enhancements. Siblings might be clones with sequential modifications, while a parent could be the original template for a particular genetic line. Time is perceived differently among Bile's followers. With the ability to accelerate growth and manipulate temporal fields, the traditional measures of age and experience become meaningless. Value is placed on the accumulation of knowledge and the successful implementation of ideas rather than years lived. A form of techno-shamanism has emerged, blending scientific understanding with mystical reverence for the forces of evolution and change. Rituals often involve the use of advanced technology and warp-infused artifacts, with participants seeking to commune with the fundamental forces of mutation and adaptation. The new men, Bile's vision of humanity's future, occupy a revered place in this culture. They are seen as living embodiments of the primogenitor's philosophy, adaptable beings unburdened by the flaws of their human ancestors. Earning a place among the new men is the ultimate aspiration for many of Bile's followers. Bile's pragmatic approach to chaos has influenced his followers' views on religion and the warp. While acknowledging the power of the chaos gods, they view these entities as forces to be studied and harnessed rather than worshipped. This has led to a form of atheistic mysticism, where the supernatural is approached with scientific curiosity rather than devotion. The concept of perfection is central to Bile's ideology, but it is seen as a journey rather than a destination. Each experiment, each modification, is viewed as a step on an endless path of improvement. This creates a culture of perpetual dissatisfaction, always striving for the next breakthrough, the next evolution. Ethics and morality have been discarded in favor of a purely utilitarian approach to progress. The suffering of individuals is considered irrelevant in the face of potential advancements for the species as a whole. This callous disregard for life creates an environment of constant dread and anticipation, where anyone could become the next test subject at any moment. Despite the focus on science and progress, a form of fatalism permeates Bile's culture. The vast scope of his plans and the seemingly insurmountable challenges facing humanity in the 41st millennium create a sense that individuals are merely cogs in a grand, incomprehensible machine. This often manifests as a dark humor, with followers laughing in the face of horror and absurdity. The culture surrounding Fabius Bile is one of contradiction and extremes. It is simultaneously forward-thinking and atavistic, embracing the future while indulging in the basest cruelty. It is a microcosm of the primogenitor's own twisted brilliance, a reflection of his grand vision for humanity's evolution, no matter the cost in blood and sanity. Fabius Bile's existence is fraught with constant conflict, both external and internal. His pursuit of forbidden knowledge and relentless experimentation have made him a target for virtually every faction in the galaxy, while his own nature presents unique challenges to his grand designs. The Imperium of Man stands as Bile's most persistent adversary. Inquisitors of the Ordo. Hereticus and Ordo Xenos dedicate vast resources to tracking and eliminating the primogenitor and his creations. These hunters employ a wide array of tactics, from surgical strike teams to full-scale planetary purges, in their attempts to eradicate Bile's influence. Within the ranks of Chaos, Bile faces opposition from those who view his atheistic approach as an affront to the dark gods. Zealous followers of Chaos Undivided see his refusal to fully embrace the ruinous powers as a dangerous heresy. This puts Bile in the precarious position of having to defend against both imperial and chaotic forces, often simultaneously. The Dark Eldar, particularly the Homunculi covens, view Bile with a mixture of professional rivalry and intense curiosity. Their attempts to capture or collaborate with the primogenitor often result in complex games of cat and mouse, with both sides seeking to exploit the other's knowledge while avoiding betrayal. Bile's former legion, the Emperor's Children, present a unique challenge. While many seek his services to further their own quests for perfection, others resent his independence and seek to bring him back into the fold. This results in a complex web of alliances and enmities within the Legion, with Bile constantly maneuvering to maintain his autonomy. The Adeptus Mechanicus, despite their official stance against Bile, harbor elements that secretly admire his work. This internal conflict within the Mechanicus occasionally works to Bile's advantage, but also presents the constant threat of betrayal from those who might seek to steal his research for their own purposes. Bile's own creations sometimes turn against him. The new men, designed to be the next step in human evolution, occasionally develop beyond their creator's control. These rebellions force Bile to continually refine his methods, walking a tightrope between advancing his designs and maintaining control over his progeny. The primogenitor's quest for resources puts him in conflict with numerous factions. Rare genetic samples, exotic materials, and ancient technologies are all vital to his work, leading to clashes with everyone from rogue traders to Necron dynasties awakening to find their tombs plundered. Bile's method of immortality, while ingenious, presents its own set of challenges. Each new clone must be protected during its maturation process, creating periods of vulnerability that his enemies seek to exploit. Additionally, the risk of memory degradation or personality drift with each iteration is a constant concern, threatening the continuity of his grand plan. The very nature of Bile's work attracts the attention of Tzeentch, the chaos god of change and mutation. While the primogenitor rejects divine worship, he must constantly guard against the subtle manipulations of the Lord of Change, who sees Bile's experiments as an extension of his own chaotic designs. Bile's pragmatic use of warp energies in his experiments risks drawing the attention of demons and other warp entities. These beings, attracted by the unique energies of his creations, pose a constant threat of possession or reality warping incidents that could destroy years of work in an instant. The Tyranid hive fleets present both an opportunity and an existential threat to Bile's work. While their unique bioadaptations offer tantalizing research possibilities, the prospect of a full-scale Tyranid invasion threatens to consume the very genetic diversity that Bile seeks to study and preserve. Internal competition within Bile's organization, while driving innovation, also creates significant challenges. Rival research teams may sabotage each other's work, leading to lost time and resources. Bile must constantly balance the benefits of this competitive atmosphere against the risks of internal strife, tearing his operation apart. The primogenitor's reputation works both for and against him. While it allows him to command respect and resources, it also makes subterfuge difficult. His name alone is enough to mobilize significant forces against any world he's rumored to be operating on, forcing him to constantly relocate and rebuild his laboratories. Bile's long-term goals often conflict with the immediate demands of survival and resource acquisition. The need to trade his services to various factions in exchange for protection or materials sometimes forces him to divert attention from his main objectives, creating frustration and delays in his grand designs. The very success of Bile's work in pushing the boundaries of human potential creates new challenges. As his creations become more advanced, the baseline humans he often relies on for test subjects and raw materials become less useful, forcing him to seek ever more exotic specimens for his experiments. The vastness of the galaxy and the difficulties of warp travel in the 41st millennium present logistical challenges to Bile's operations. Coordinating his various labs, safeguarding his cloning facilities, and transporting sensitive materials across war-torn sectors require constant attention and resources. Perhaps the greatest conflict Bile faces is the race against time itself. Despite his functional immortality, the primogenitor is acutely aware of the myriad threats facing humanity's existence in the galaxy. This urgency drives him to take greater risks and pushes experiments to the limit, often with catastrophic consequences. Ultimately, Fabius Bile's greatest challenge may be his own nature. His insatiable curiosity and drive to perfect the human form constantly push him to new extremes. Each breakthrough only serves to illuminate new areas of ignorance, new flaws to be corrected, in an endless cycle of experimentation and revelation that threatens to consume him entirely. The legacy of Fabius Bile is not confined to the primogenitor alone. His work has spawned a host of memorable creations and disciples, each bearing the unmistakable mark of his genius and madness. Igori, the bastard son, stands as one of Bile's most infamous creations. A clone combining genetic material from multiple Primarchs, Igori represents the pinnacle of Bile's attempts to recreate the Emperor's work. Possessing incredible strength and a savage intellect, Igori serves as both a prized experiment and a dangerous liability. His existence is a closely guarded secret, as both the Imperium and Chaos forces would stop at nothing to acquire or destroy such a being. The Chirurgeon, while not a sentient creation, has become synonymous with Bile himself. This biomechanical marvel, fused to the primogenitor's spine, is a testament to his mastery of cybernetic enhancement. Its writhing mechadendrites, capable of performing complex surgical procedures on the fly, have become an iconic image that strikes fear into the hearts of Bile's enemies and awe in his followers. Among Bile's disciples, few are as renowned as Oleander Ko, the Fleshmaster. Once a promising apothecary of the Raven Guard, Ko's obsession with genetic purity led him down a dark path. Under Bile's tutelage, he has become a master of creating specialized war breeds, each tailored for specific combat roles. Ko's creations, while short-lived, are prized by Chaos warbands for their effectiveness in battle. The New Men, Bile's vision of humanity's future, are represented by various notable individuals. Among them is Zeril, the Adaptable One. Zeril's unique genetic structure allows him to rapidly evolve in response to environmental stimuli. Whether facing the vacuum of space or the crushing depths of ocean worlds, Zeryl's body quickly adapts, making him an invaluable asset in Bile's exploration of extreme environments. Bile's experiments with Tyranid biomass resulted in the creation of the Corsairs of Ganymede. These hybrid warriors, combining human cunning with Tyranid adaptability, serve as shock troops in many of Bile's operations. Led by the enigmatic Queen Sibari, herself a complex fusion of human and genestealer genetics, the Corsairs represent a terrifying glimpse into a possible future where the lines between humanity and Xenos are irrevocably blurred. The Glandhounds, while often thought of as a singular entity, have produced exceptional individuals. Famin, the Alpha Hound, possesses a heightened intelligence that allows him to coordinate the actions of his lesser brethren with terrifying efficiency. Famin's ability to strategize has made the Glandhounds a far more potent force, evolving from mere organ harvesters to a sophisticated military asset. Among Bile's more esoteric creations is the Psychic Choir of Harmony's End. This group of engineered psychers, their brains linked in a delicate neural network, serve as both a powerful psychic battery and a living warp navigation system. The choir's abilities have allowed Bile to traverse the tumultuous Empyrean with unprecedented accuracy, greatly expanding his sphere of influence. The consortium, Bile's inner circle, includes several notable figures. Dr. Victorina Pax, once a celebrated geneticist of the Adeptus Mechanicus, now serves as Bile's chief researcher in xenogenetics. Her intimate knowledge of Imperial and Mechanicus protocols has proven invaluable in staying one step ahead of her former colleagues. Another key member of the consortium is Hexeter Sylph, a being of indeterminate gender whose body is a constantly shifting canvas of genetic modifications. Sylph serves as a living test subject, their form adapting to new gene therapies at an astonishing rate. The data gathered from Sylph's transformations has accelerated Bile's research by decades. The Jade Spectre, a mysterious assassin rumored to be a perfect clone of an Officio Assassinorum operative, represents Bile's foray into creating specialized infiltration units. Combining peak human physical abilities with chameleonic skin and pheromone control, the Jade Spectre has been responsible for the deaths of numerous high-ranking Imperial officials who posed a threat to Bile's operations. Bile's experiments with Eldari genetics produced the Twilight Walkers, a small cadre of hybrids capable of manipulating the webway. Led by the sorrowful figure known as Yvraine's Lament, these beings navigate the labyrinthine corridors between realities, securing rare resources from dimensions beyond the comprehension of most mortals. The Behemoth of Nordafric Hive, a monstrous fusion of orc and human genetics, stands as a testament to Bile's ability to combine seemingly incompatible life forms. This towering creature possesses the orc's natural toughness and love of combat, tempered by human cunning and the ability to follow complex strategies. The behemoth serves as a living siege engine, capable of single-handedly breaching the strongest fortifications. Among Bile's more controversial creations are the Memory Eaters. These beings, their own identities erased, serve as living data storage units. Each Memory Eater's brain is capable of perfectly preserving the knowledge and experiences of others, allowing Bile to preserve valuable information even when the original subject is destroyed. The unsettling blankness in their eyes serves as a chilling reminder of the price of progress in Bile's world. The Hollow Men, a specialized force of clone soldiers, represent Bile's attempt to mass-produce reliable troops. These warriors, grown to maturity in a matter of weeks, possess pre-programmed combat skills and unwavering loyalty. While lacking the adaptability of his more advanced creations, the Hollow Men provide Bile with a disposable yet effective army. Lastly, there is the enigmatic figure known only as the Successor. Rumored to be Bile's ultimate creation, the Successor is said to possess the primogenitor's intellect combined with physical and psychic abilities that surpass even the greatest of the Space Marines. Some whisper that the Successor is intended to be Bile's true legacy, a being capable of carrying on his work should the primogenitor finally meet his end. The mere possibility of such a being's existence has sent shockwaves through both Imperial and Chaos factions, spawning countless missions to either confirm or deny the successor's reality. Fabius Bile's influence on the Warhammer 40,000 universe extends far beyond his personal actions, shaping narratives and gameplay in profound ways. His presence adds layers of complexity to conflicts, introducing moral ambiguity and technological horror to an already grim setting. In narrative campaigns, Bile often serves as a wild card, his motivations inscrutable and his allegiances fluid. A story might begin with Imperial forces attempting to purge a chaos-held world, only to discover that Bile's experiments have created a third faction of genetically enhanced humans fighting for survival. This three-way conflict forces players to reconsider their strategies and alliances. Bile's creations provide game masters with a diverse toolkit for crafting unique encounters. A seemingly routine mission might take a horrific turn when the squad encounters a laboratory filled with Bile's failed experiments. The psychological impact of facing twisted reflections of themselves challenges players in ways that standard combat cannot. The hunt for Bile himself becomes a driving force in many campaigns. His ability to cheat death through cloning means that even successful missions to eliminate the primogenitor may only be temporary setbacks. This creates a sense of ongoing threat and frustration for players, mirroring the experiences of those who pursue Bile in the lore. In tabletop battles, Bile's presence on the field introduces unpredictable elements. His enhanced warrior's rule allows for the on-the-fly modification of nearby units, representing his ability to make quick genetic adjustments. This forces opponents to constantly reassess the threat level of each enemy unit, adding a layer of tactical depth to engagements. Bile's chirurgeon ability, allowing him to heal and revive fallen allies, makes him a high-priority target in any conflict. However, his relatively low combat prowess means that committing too many resources to eliminating him can leave a player vulnerable to other threats. This risk-reward dynamic creates tense decision-making moments throughout a battle. The various creations of Bile offer players a wide range of modeling and painting opportunities. From grotesque mutations to sleek bio-engineered warriors, his influence encourages hobbyists to push the boundaries of their craft, much as Bile pushes the limits of human physiology in the lore. In role-playing scenarios, encountering Bile or his agents presents players with difficult moral choices. The offer of genetic enhancement might be tempting for characters facing overwhelming odds, but accepting such aid comes with the risk of mutation or enslavement. These decisions can have long-lasting consequences for both individual characters and overall campaign narratives. Bile's technology creates opportunities for unique mission objectives. A campaign might revolve around securing a cache of his research data, with multiple factions racing to obtain potentially game-changing genetic templates. The non-linear nature of such a quest allows for diverse playstyles, from stealthy infiltration to all-out assault. The primogenitor's experiments with Xenos genetics allow for the introduction of hybrid enemies that combine the most dangerous traits of multiple races. These unpredictable foes keep veteran players on their toes, forcing them to adapt tactics on the fly when faced with creatures that defy standard classification. In narrative leagues and campaigns, Bile's influence can be represented by a gradual mutation mechanic. As the conflict progresses, units on all sides might gain new abilities or suffer detrimental changes, representing the spread of Bile's creations or attempts by other factions to counter his work. This evolution of force composition over time keeps campaigns dynamic and engaging. Bile's quest for the perfect human form raises philosophical questions that can add depth to in-character discussions and narrative development. Players might grapple with the ethics of transhuman evolution, questioning whether the potential benefits of Bile's work could ever justify his methods. The hunt for resources to fuel Bile's experiments can drive entire campaign narratives. Players might find themselves racing against time to secure a newly discovered cache of pre-Age of Strife genetic samples, knowing that such materials in Bile's hands could shift the balance of power in a sector. In large-scale narrative events, Bile's creations can serve as an equalizing factor between mismatched forces. A small defending force might be bolstered by experimental super soldiers, giving them a fighting chance against a numerically superior invading army. This allows for dramatic last stands and unexpected reversals of fortune. Bile's influence extends to terrain and environment design in both narrative and competitive play. Battlefields might feature bizarre organic structures, vat-grown forests of poisonous flora, or unstable regions of accelerated evolution. These dynamic environments add tactical considerations and reinforce the alien nature of Bile's work. The possibility of Bile's involvement can add tension to even routine operations in a role-playing campaign. A simple mission to secure medical supplies might reveal evidence of the primogenitor's experiments, escalating a low-key adventure into a desperate race to contain a potential outbreak of gene-tailored plagues. In narrative campaigns, the insidious nature of Bile's work can be represented by hidden corruption mechanics. Characters or units exposed to his creations might develop mutations over time, creating internal conflicts within a player's force as they struggle to contain the spread of unwanted enhancements. Bile's character offers a unique perspective on the setting's history, having lived through millennia of conflict. In role-playing scenarios, encounters with the primogenitor can serve as a vehicle for exposition, revealing forgotten lore, or offering a skewed perspective on well-known historical events. The wide-ranging impact of Bile's work allows for seamless integration of his influence into various game systems and narratives. Whether as a central antagonist, a shadowy background figure, or a potential source of terrible power, Fabius Bile adds layers of complexity and horror to the already rich tapestry of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. The future of Fabius Bile in the Warhammer 40,000 universe teems with dark potential and horrifying possibilities. As the galaxy plunges deeper into chaos, the primogenitor's twisted vision of humanity's evolution gains new relevance and urgency. Bile's experiments with Primaris gene seed, stolen from Loyalist chapters, promise to yield a new generation of enhanced Chaos Space Marines. These creations, combining the advancements of Call's work with Bile's own heretical modifications, could shift the balance of power in the ongoing war against the Imperium. The New Men Project, long Bile's magnum opus, stands on the brink of a breakthrough. Recent xenotech acquisitions have allowed for unprecedented stability in the latest generations. As these beings spread throughout the galaxy, they may form the nucleus of a new civilization, one built on the principles of constant adaptation and evolution. Bile's forays into tyrannid biomanipulation open terrifying new avenues for exploration. By combining the hive mind's adaptive capabilities with his own genetic crafting, Bile could create swarms of engineered organisms capable of overwhelming even the most formidable defenses. The primogenitor's experiments with Necron technology hint at a fusion of organic and mechanical that transcends current understanding. Living metal combined with genetically optimized tissue could result in beings that blur the line between life and machine, possessing the strengths of both while shedding their weaknesses. Bile's research into the Emperor's own work on the Primarchs continues to yield results. Each iteration brings him closer to unraveling the secrets of creating truly transcendent beings. The emergence of a successful Primarch clone could reshape the political landscape of both Imperial and Chaos forces. The development of targeted genetic plagues represents a growing threat to the Imperium. These weaponized strains, capable of affecting specific gene lines or even targeting particular organs, could devastate entire worlds while leaving critical infrastructure intact for Bile's forces to claim. Bile's experiments with warp entities open up new possibilities for demon hybrid creatures. These beings, combining the raw power of the warp with genetically stabilized physical forms, could serve as devastating shock troops or infiltrators capable of bypassing traditional defenses. The Consortium, Bile's inner circle of enhanced beings, shows signs of evolving beyond their creator's control. As these individuals develop their own agendas and power bases, they may split off to form independent factions, each pursuing a different vision of transhuman evolution. Bile's research into time manipulation, while still in its infancy, holds the potential to revolutionize his work. The ability to accelerate or reverse aging, or to pluck subjects from different points in their timeline, could provide him with an endless supply of test subjects and the means to perfect his creations across multiple iterations. The primogenitor's efforts to create stable psyker strains continue to advance. Success in this area could result in a new breed of psychic warriors, their powers amplified and controlled through genetic engineering rather than arduous training and ritual. Bile's experiments with orc physiology have yielded insights into their remarkable resilience and adaptability. Incorporating these traits into human subjects could produce incredibly durable warriors capable of surviving in the harshest environments. The development of biological computers, melding organic neural tissue with advanced technology, promises to revolutionize data processing and storage. These living machines could serve as the backbone of a new kind of society, one where the line between individual and collective consciousness blurs. Bile's work on environmental adaptation takes on new urgency as more worlds fall to pollution, war, and chaos corruption. His creatures, designed to thrive in the most hostile conditions, may become the only viable inhabitants for many planets in the coming centuries. The primogenitor's experiments with cloning technology continue to advance, hinting at the possibility of true immortality through perpetual self-replication. This development could see Bile's influence extend indefinitely into the future, his knowledge and ambitions outlasting even the stars themselves. Bile's research into the fundamental nature of the soul and its interaction with the warp edges closer to a breakthrough. Success in this area could allow for the creation of beings with unprecedented control over warp energies, or even the ability to exist simultaneously in real space and the immaterium. The integration of Xenos reproductive methods into human physiology opens up new possibilities for rapid population growth and colonization. Bile's engineered humans, capable of producing vast numbers of offspring in short periods, could quickly overwhelm existing power structures on frontier worlds. Bile's experiments with synthetic life forms, created entirely from artificial compounds, represent a new frontier in his work. These beings, unburdened by the limitations of evolved biology, could possess capabilities far beyond those of any natural organism. The primogenitor's ongoing efforts to perfect the glandhounds hint at the development of specialized organ-harvesting swarms. These creatures, capable of rapidly stripping useful biological components from battlefields, could provide Bile with an endless supply of raw materials for his work. As the boundaries between reality and the warp continue to thin, Bile's research into creating beings that can navigate both realms gains new importance. These trans-dimensional entities could serve as scouts and colonizers of the chaotic regions where real space and the immaterium overlap. The future of Fabius Bile is intrinsically tied to the fate of humanity itself. As the species faces extinction from all sides, the primogenitor's vision of a post-human future may become increasingly attractive to those desperate for survival at any cost. In the grim darkness of the far future, Bile's twisted path of evolution may prove to be humanity's salvation, or the final nail in its coffin.